Hi everyone, welcome back to My Kitchen, Your Kitchen. I am Nancy and we have Kim with us today. And what we're just going to go over is the types of food allergies. And as we go, we'll get more into detail and everything. But I just want to list the different types of food allergies that are out there. Of course, the top main ones we have and everything. But, there's sometimes more than what they tell us. Isn't that right, Kail?
Oh man, you ain't just kidding.
So let's
You
see
see, if you
here.
find out, hmm, I'm sorry.
No, you go
If you
ahead.
find
I
out,
was just looking for this book.
if you find out you're allergic to one thing, then you all of a sudden find out that there are other things that you really should not be eating because they're connected somehow. Or if you find out that you are ingredient that if there's something like latex that you're allergic to, there are some foods that the plants are related to that somehow, and you find out you're not supposed to be having that either because you all of a sudden develop a reaction to it. So it's
Exactly.
it's all tied together somehow.
Blame me, don't I
Unfortunately,
know?
the medical world does not tell you that. They just want to keep you coming back so that it lines their pockets.
Exactly.
At least that's my opinion.
Well, that's a lot of people's opinions, I know. So the main type of food allergies, of course, there's soy, milk, eggs, fish, which is crustacean shellfish, tree nuts,
Mhm.
peanuts, wheat, sesame. The fish can also include bass, flounder, cod, etc. And shellfish is crab, lobster, and shrimp. And the nuts they list as almonds, walnuts, and pecans. But peanuts is they consider that a legume, however you say that word.
Mhm.
But people can be
Legumes.
allergic to that also.
Mhm.
And so I have this book. It's called Allergy Free, and I will list it down below. I got this from Thrifbooks, and I was just like, with having the alpha gall and possibly other things, which I'll find out March 10th. This has been a real eye opener for me, and I'm just like things I've had all my life, or I ate something and your mouth starts to itch. You just don't put two and two together that it could be a reaction to the food you just ate, or your hand
Mhm.
starts itching, or 3 or 4 days later something comes up and it's like, where did this come from? Well, this could be possibly a reaction.
Mhm.
So sometimes some of the symptoms that causes an allergic reaction is hives, flushed skin, tingling or itching, sensation in the mouth, face, tongue, or lips, swelling, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramps, coughing, wheezing, dizziness, and lightheadedness, swelling of the throat and vocal cords, difficult breathing, loss of consciousness, and at that point in time, that's called anaphylaxis. And most people that have um, severe allergies like anesthesia, and my doctor even gave me an EpiPen. And so those are the severe ones. So I try to
Mhm.
know if I'm having something, and we do this with anesthesia, Benadryl first before an EpiPen, because once you shoot that EpiPen into your thigh, you've got to go to the hospital. And that's
Mhm.
just the way it is. So, you know, as I was reading in this book, I'll read it. It was talking about another reaction you can have from food allergies is nosebleeds, and I'm just like, what?
Mhm.
How is that possible? But it is possible and everything. So, and then other types of allergies that people besides foods, there's people are allergic to drugs, mold, insects. And you think of bees, wasps, fire ants, the bite of mosquitoes, cockroaches, and mites. And along that is that cockroaches leave, they shed or something another like that. And then you have mites, dust mites on your bed and everything. And now this is what we've done. You just take some water and a small spray bottle and add like tea tree oil or eucalyptus oil or something sprayed on your bed, and it makes it smell nice. Of course, essential oils help with other things. So that's something that we've done that's helped us out. As Kim was saying, latex, I put mold, pet dander, pollen, and then other foods that people can be allergic to is chocolate, strawberries, peanuts, corn, citrus fruits, some spices, and some. Try to read my handwriting. And various food additives, colorings. People can be allergic to aspirin, acetaminophen, and I'll get to the page here. Now, I am allergic to all narcotics, and that is a scary thing to sit there and say, because of not saying that somebody would harm me, but it makes my heart stop. And the people, when I went ahead and the pacemaker I put in, every time I went to the doctor, or the hospital, I had to be firm. And if you're going to the hospital by yourself, be firm about what you tell them.
Yep.
I'm allergic to this, 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 and this, because they're not aware of it. And even if it's in your chart, some of them don't even look in your chart to see. So on that note, if you are by yourself and you go to the hospital and you're not conscious, you're not awake enough to sit there and tell them what's going on, have it written somewhere, have it on your keychain. We all still have keys because we have keys to our houses and stuff. Get a clear thing, or you can get one engraved. See medical notes. That brings, especially if you had someone calls 911. And as a former EMT, we ask questions. We ask a lot of questions about. Go ahead.
And something that I found out several years ago, just because you have a medic alert bracelet, 9 times out of 10, they don't pay any attention to it. My allergy list was way too long to put on the bracelet. So I had another tag that was on my keychain that had every bit of it engraved. And it was just like military guys carry. It was the size of a dog tag. And it cost a lot to have that all done. That tag got lost. And the first thing they said was, "How allergic are you?" I said, "To which?" And they said, "Well, morphine." I said, "Put it this way, you give me that, a minute and a half later, I'm dead. I have what they term a deadly allergy." When my mom was on hospice, they told me to wear double gloves to give her medications so that I came in contact it in no way, shape, or form. And it's awful having an allergy like that. Not only that, but I carry my allergy list, my medication list, all of my surgeries, just a basic medical history with me all the time. And I make sure that if somebody is taking me to a hospital, like had to be done a couple of years ago and just this past July, I make sure that that list is with me, and I make sure that whoever's taking me has a copy of it so that they can step in and say, "Hey, you've got to pay attention to this." And I have even had a doctor recently say, well, I know you say you're allergic to this, but would you be willing to try? No. I don't care how old you are. Stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to back these people into corners, because they will push you into taking drugs that you have no business taking. And I finally had to say, would you willingly take something you know has the chance to kill you within 30 minutes? And he said, no. I said, then why are you asking me to?
Exactly.
Don't push it, Doc. I chose you. You have choices.
Exactly. And especially when it comes to any kind of food allergies, drug allergies, any allergies you have, that is one of the key things they would ask. And sometimes if you can get tired of saying the same thing over and over and over again, but it's your health, it's your life, that you're your own advocate. So
That's right.
you've got to be, some kind of way, shape, or form. Now I got these off of Temu for a couple bucks each. Now this one says drug allergy. And then this one says, well, I was on a blood thinner, but I'm not on it anymore. I could probably take that off. And then the other one, I have 3. And this one says pacemaker. So, and it's on my keychain. So I have my keys with me. And these are really cute. They just clip on. And, most people have their keys on them because, like you said, you have a house key, a mailbox key. Technically, some people still have car keys and everything. Yeah. So there's a way to have something on you. Like put a piece of paper in your wallet. Now, I know they talk about privacy, and when it comes to medical, privacy kind of go out the window because they need the information to help you out. Put a piece of paper in your wallet because, like I said, when I was an EMT, we did, if the person was unconscious, they've got to have something on them, whether it be, a medical alert or something. Now, my doctor used to get after me years ago. This was back in 2003, so this was 20 years ago because we knew then that I couldn't have any narcotics. And he goes, why don't you have your medical bracelet? I'm like, that stuff's expensive. And to me, back then, it was still expensive. And it's still, they're not cheap anymore. And so to have it this way, I like this keychain thing. I could take these off and put them as a necklace around my neck, when I go out. Now those are like times like if I'm going to the doctor or something or another. But as far as anything else, I'm home all the time now, and I've always been home. And now that my daughter-in-law is home and everything, do I still worry about it? It's always in the back of your mind. But that somebody else is home, they can call 911. And we taught Anastasia how to call 911. So I got to tell you, this was funny. Last night, I was sitting up there, went up there to do devotions with her. And somebody had texted something, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out the word. But I was laying on her bed, and I closed my eyes because I was trying to think of the word to say. And immediately she goes, Grandma. I'm like, what? She goes, are you okay? I said, I am fine. Because she goes, all I did was just close my eyes. And I was so still that I wasn't moving. So she wanted to make sure I was okay. And that was just so sweet. Just like, I'm okay. I was thinking of a word I wanted to put in there in the message and everything. She goes, all right. So, being that they were home when I passed out back in June with my heart, and my heart stopped. It had nothing to do with anything I did, it was just what my heart does. It's bradycardia. Sick sinus syndrome is what they call it. So with that, I'm allergic to morphine, codeine, Vicodin, any narcotic, Percocet, you name it. I cannot have it. It'll stop my heart. And the funny thing is after the pacemaker and the anesthesiologist comes in, and because they were freaking out because they couldn't use narcotics to put me under, and we were talking and everything. He goes, "Well, now that you have the pacemaker, you should be all right taking those medicines." I just gave him this look like, "Are you kidding me? You have the nerve to say that?" I just looked at my son, and my son looked at him. I was like, if I could have got, I probably would have ducked him if I got out of the bed. But I was like, okay, that's nice to know, And I'm thinking, I don't think so. Just because I have a pacemaker now doesn't mean I still want to take medicine that's going to harm me. So,
that's like asking somebody, just how allergic are you?
Exactly.
And I'm just like, you know what? An allergy is an allergy. Don't push it.
Oh, I know.
I even got told one time, oh, well, we can give you allergy medication. No, because I'm allergic to most of it too. There's a chemical in it that I am allergic to.
Right.
But unless I want to submit to some of the extreme tests that are involved in that, they can't pinpoint which chemical it is. So, no.
Exactly. So on page 23 in this book, we were sitting here talking, it says, the most common allergic reactions occur immediately after exposure to certain substances, peanuts, pollen, bee venom, or cats, for example, milk, soy, etc. These reactions are typically caused by an IgE antibodies, resulting in a runny nose, watery eyes, itching, and skin rashes. Much severe reactions, or more severe reactions, include constriction of the bronchial tubes and difficulty breathing. Delayed allergies are another type of allergic reaction which can manifest symptoms up to 72 hours after exposure to a triggering substances. Oh, sorry about that. They don't know I was re-recording. But these can be up to 72 hours later. That's 3 days. And that's why
What
with
did
the
you say?
huh?
What did you say the name of that book is?
It's called Allergy Free.
Okay.
And it's but it is by Konrad, Kail, and Bobbie Lawrence with Burton Goldberg. So I'll send you this. But I'm also gonna put it in the description below.
Okay.
But yep. That was like with the alpha gal, and that's why we didn't know what was going on, because I could have we have hamburger one day or roast, and then chicken a couple of days, and then we would have pork or something other, and then my hands would do flare up, and then they get better. And then once we got rid of pork, all we were having were beef products and chicken. So then it became more and more that it was the way it was with my hands. Now, with my eyes, we have already figured it out. It is alpha-gal flare up, because everything I was doing, it all started with June when I started eating. And we tried. I tried bacon. I didn't have a reaction. We had hamburgers. I didn't have a reaction. I had roast. I didn't have a reaction. But I kept eating it. And that's why all this started. And so now that I've gone off of all the meat and everything except for chicken and turkey, everything is starting to calm down. It's starting to get out of my system, and my eyes are this is so much better. It's like the redness is just that it's dry, and irritated. So that will go back to normal also. But the swelling has definitely gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, there's not near as much swelling around your eyes like there was, because you even had swelling on the outside. It wasn't all just in your eyelids and below your eyes. It was even on the outside. And I'm noticing that's gone down quite a bit.
Yeah, I did updated a little short video, whatever they call them shorts now. But everybody, I told them I'd bring y'all along about what's going on and why this happened and everything, because I know people can see it in my videos, because people have asked me what's going on, with your eyes and everything. So I'm explaining, yes, the blood test came back negative, the allergy test came back negative, but I had also not been eating anything that would flare it up for 2.5 years. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't have shown up on a test. So, but in March 10th, I'm going back because I want other allergy tests done to see if I am allergic to something else, just to be on the safe side and everything.
That's the best thing to do.
So, and like I said, I was like, 74 hours, like, well, that's me.
Yeah. I know my doctor told me recently, she said, since you started seeing me, she said, we have found 5 more things that you are having allergic reactions to. I said, yeah. And she said, 2 of them are antibiotics. I said, yep. She said, but that's okay. So when I had the sinus infection, she was like, well, let's go through the list and see what you're not allergic to. Because she said, I don't want you having a reaction. She said, you're having enough issues. And then when I went to the dentist, he was asking me about some things on the list. Well, exactly what are your reactions to? And I told him, and he said, so we don't dare use that. No, you don't. And
Exactly.
lidocaine was one of the things they asked me about. I said, lidocaine has been used for dental work on me for a long time, and I've never had a reaction to it. Just don't mix it with Novocaine. And I listed a couple of others, and he said, yeah, you got that listed here. He said, I just want to make sure. He said, now granted, he said, my assistant is an RN, and he said, she knows what she's doing, but he said, we're going to keep you as safe as possible. And I was really glad that they felt that way about it. Other dentists or even doctors might not have felt that.
Exactly.
So for my mouth, the lidocaine is fine. Anywhere else on my body, no, it doesn't work. It's like if it's a topical thing, it breaks me out. But in my mouth, it poses no issues. And they don't understand that. I don't either.
Exactly. It's just, how our bodies are. It's just, weird. And so on page 28, it says more than 15 million Americans have asthma, and 33% increased from 1990 and 66% from 1980. In 1997, more than 5,400 people died from severe asthma attacks, more than double the asthma death rate in 1980. Occupational asthma, which develops in adults due to substances they are exposed to at work, accounts for 15.4% of all cases of asthma in the United States. 5 million children under the age of 18 suffer from asthma, making it the leading cause of hospitalization and school absenteeism for children. So I wanted to read those numbers because further down it says common food allergens that trigger asthma attacks include cow's milk, eggs, fish, tree nuts, peanuts, seeds, soy, wheat, corn, and citrus fruits, chocolate, and some spices, and various food additives and coloring, especially sulfates. Aspirin and acetaminophen also can prompt asthma. Some other triggers are animal dander, dust mites, mold, chlorine, car exhaust fumes, tobacco smoke, smoke from wood burning stove or fireplaces, latex cleaning chemicals, newsprint and fabric dyes, and formaldehyde containing sprays, polishes, building materials, fabrics, and personal hygiene products.
Mhm.
So it's like, things they've made, it's like, wow. It was like, that's just unbelievable that, so many things can
Mhm.
trigger something.
Mhm. I'll tell you something else and when my mother used to say this, she got a lot of laughs out of it. My mother was allergic to alcohol, as in booze.
Right.
She couldn't have it. Um, I had an aunt that cooked with it a lot. Um, and if we went to her house, she knew not to fix sauces that had any kind of alcohol in it. Um, on that note, a lot of these artificial sweeteners that you find are made from what they call sugar alcohol. Don't mess with them. They will cause problems. Um, Sucralose is one of them. Um, Fructose is the sugar that is made from fruit, but it has to ferment for a specific length of time in order to be used. Um, it's used in a lot of diabetic things. Um, if you have any reactions at all to alcohol, you shouldn't use that stuff. Not only that, but those artificial sweeteners make your body crave sugar, which in and of itself can be really harmful to you, especially if you are a diabetic. Whether you are diabetic or hypoglycemic, it's bad news. Um, People just need to be very careful. And there are so many of the other artificial sweeteners that it's nothing but a list of chemicals.
Yeah,
And I can
exactly.
understand if you have absolutely no choice, um, I can understand it. My
Yeah.
late husband was a diabetic, and I relearned how to cook. Um, and he had to learn to use a couple of other kinds of sweetener, but his doctors worked with us. He couldn't take the insulin. It dropped his sugar levels way too low. And they said that he was more in danger from that than he was of the sugar being high.
Wow.
Um, so we learned how to work with it. And but that was one of the things that I learned was about the sugar alcohol, or what they want to term sugar gases. Mm-mm. It's a type of alcohol made from the sugar.
Oh, wow. So,
And
yeah, I
so,
know. My mom, they told her to use sweet and low, is what they advise, or the
mhm,
NutraSweet or whatever. But, you
mhm,
know, her issues, I think, was it wasn't even what she was eating, how much she was eating. She would just go on a diet and come off of it. She did Weight
mhm,
Watchers and she would do good. And then she got tired of going. Or, we even, back in the day with Richard Simmons, when he came out with his weight loss program and stuff and everything, she
mhm,
brought that. I did great on it. I stuck with it. She didn't.
mhm, mhm,
But and I was 13 years old. So I was 175 at 13 and I lost 40 pounds. And I got that weight off and kept it off until I was,
mhm,
married and had my first kid. So,
mhm,
and, but my weight is not from eating. My weight is because of mobility issues.
mhm,
So But with that, I also eat differently because there's certain things I can't have because of the alpha gall.
Mm-hmm.
So when you limit to fish, chicken, and turkey, I always have to come up with something different.
Yeah. And that's something else that allergies can affect, and that is your weight. Now,
Mm-hmm.
doctors will not tell you that. They will just say,
Exactly.
oh, you need to go on this diet or that diet, or you need to be doing this or that or the other thing. If they dig a little deeper and find out what you're allergic to, they'd find a lot of the root cause. Um, at 10 years old, now I will admit I was 5 feet tall when I was 10 years old. I weighed 100 pounds. You take a look at that today, 5 feet tall and 100 pounds really is not that big. But because I was only 10 years old, they thought I was overweight. Well, when they got to the doctor, immediately decided to do some allergy tests because while we were sitting in his office, I kept clearing my throat. And
Mm-hmm.
he told my folks, he said, she's got allergies. They started doing the allergy test, found out that I was allergic to dairy products, eggs, feathers, wheat. Um, the nightshade family is something they don't fill you in on about a lot. Nightshade is potatoes, tomatoes, the pepper family, and eggplant. No, the eggplant I didn't eat, but I was sure eating the rest of it. We didn't know I was allergic to it. By the time they took away everything I was allergic to, because of the dairy allergy, I could not have beef. They said, that's got the same base ingredients. Leave it alone. Because of the egg and feather allergy, you don't eat chicken. Leave it alone. Because I had a wool allergy and a lanolin allergy at the time, I couldn't have lamb. I
Mm.
was limited to fish and pork. I couldn't have, there was very few vegetables I could have. And, but there's a lot of things that I learned to like because it was what I could eat. And
Exactly.
I like those things to this day. Um, by the time I was in my late teens, early 20s, the allergies were gone.
Well, that's
Um,
good.
I still have a lot, but it's the stuff that isn't good for you anyway. So I'm okay with that.
Very good.
But
Awesome.
once they got the things I was allergic to, I wasn't consuming them, and I um, I wasn't being exposed to all of that, and I started losing weight. And over the summer between fourth and fifth grade, I went down to, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was like 81 pounds. When you look at somebody today that is 5 feet tall and they only weigh 80 to 85 pounds, they're skinny.
Yeah.
And it was all allergies.
Wow.
Unfortunately, as anybody who knows me can attest, I found substitutes. But I also come from a family that for many generations, it's in our makeup, we gain weight easily.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
it's not just allergies that cause it, but weight gain or even extreme weight loss can be brought on by allergies.
Exactly.
It's so much that the medical profession, they just don't tell you.
Yep.
So
So
we got to do our own research.
exactly. Research is the key. And I'm going to put the disclaimer here. We are not doctors. We do not pretend to be doctors. This is what we've
Absolutely.
learned on our journey of food allergies and allergies in general.
Mhm.
So, you know, this is what we're sharing with y'all, and I just want to put that disclaimer in there so nobody can say, well, you went and said such and such. No, we're not doctors, and we do not play one on TV any at all.
No.
So, but
We just know what works for us.
exactly, this is what works for us. And our next My Kitchen, Your Kitchen, we're going to start with going into the different allergies that we've listed. And we're going to start with soy because Kim knows that so well and everything. So that might be a 2 segment with that one because that's a lot of information too and all. So anything else you have to say, Kim?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. Well, we want to thank y'all for coming and watching the podcast. Just remember that, sometimes a food allergy doesn't show up within hours, minutes, hours, or days. It could be days. It could be a week. So keep that in mind. And we thank you for coming to My Kitchen, Your Kitchen. And y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. And we'll see you next time on Our Treasure Home.